Welcome to episode 24 of Curious Conversations. We've got a busy day today.
Busy ass day.
Me and Aidan are heading up with our pal Drew. We are heading up to Perth today to check out a gym called One Perth. I'm going to be doing a little YouTube vlog of it as well, a little day in the life. And we thought we'd get in early, get this done. We've got a couple of different topics we want to cover that we spoke about this morning, and want to kind of go over things that have either been on our mind or things that have been like the first topic, for example, is what a lot of people will have been talking about and have seen over the past week as well. And we'll go straight into that.
Yeah, let's go straight in.
So we want to speak about Diogo Jota because that's a huge topic just now in the news, and those who don't know who that is or haven't seen the news, he's a 28-year-old footballer, Portuguese, and he passed away the other day in a car crash. I think it was a huge surprise to a lot of people.
His tyre burst or something like that. Something that was.
Yeah, his tyre burst when he was trying to overtake someone. I think he was obviously in I think it was like a Lamborghini or a Ferrari, and it was something to do with the door. The door wasn't able to open, and they both died inside after the crash. Him and his brother, and I think he got married 5 days before. Got married 5 days before. A week before that, he got the UEFA Champions League Nations or something like that trophy, and then a couple of weeks before that, he lifted the Premier League trophy as well. So he just went through probably the best month of his life in terms of what he's achieved, and then he's managed to, like, that's just happened to him straight off the bat, and that's something that we want to chat about.
Yeah, 100%. It's one of those ones. When I first found out about it, didn't actually sink in until I actually thought about it later on in the day. I think it was Thursday that I found it, and it's mad because the way I've been thinking about it is none of this shit is promised to you. Like, none of this life is promised to you. There's so many people. Well, everyone in life is so busy thinking about, like, oh, what does my future hold? Like, what have I got to do in next 2 weeks? So I've got this holiday planned, I've got this planned. And none of that is actually guaranteed. It could all finish today. And I think that looking at it from a certain view, it's about understanding that you should do what you want to do, because you might not get the opportunity to do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, for example, this guy's 28 and he's literally got the world in his hands. Like, he's the highest level of sport. He's multi-millionaire. He's got a beautiful family, kids, things like that. And it shows you life doesn't give a shit who you are. It can just take everything from you, which is sad. But you can also look at it in a sense of, none of this stuff is guaranteed. I'm going to do what I want to do because I know that it's as I say, never guaranteed.
Yeah, and it's like such a heartbreaking circumstance for anyone, really, looking at it. Like, I've obviously watched Liverpool in the past. I'm not huge into Liverpool or like him as a player, but like thinking about his life, like, or anyone's life that happens to, and it's just cut so short like that, and it brings you, it almost slaps you in the face sometimes, because any kind of small thing that you're like truly worrying about, like what someone said to you at work, like they said something in a certain tone, or like someone cuts you off in traffic and it like annoys you all day, like, and then you hear about something like this and it's just like, shit.
It makes things so small.
Yeah, it makes you realise how small your problems actually are.
Totally.
And it really does show you it can all just be taken away from you in an instant. And we wanted to kind of chat about that first off because it makes you understand that you are like that small Like you're that little. Your life is very vulnerable. It can be over like that in a second. So you may as well go off the back of it and do exactly what you want to do. Like that's exactly the way we were talking about it the other day.
Totally. Because it's one of those ones like you might not get the chance to experience these things, so do it now. Like there's so much procrastination and waiting about from a lot of people in this life, and don't get me wrong, it's something that's natural, but in the same breath, you want to make sure that you're doing your most with your time, because you don't know how much time you've got.
Yeah, life is very short. Like I think the kind of older I get, the more I realise it, and it's almost the start of every month now for me. Like, see, when it's obviously just hit July a couple of days ago, and I always just think that month has just went so quickly, and obviously like that's half a year now as well, and it does really make you think. Like the things that are top of your mind, oh, I really want to do that. That's going to become a distant memory in the future, and you're going to think, oh, I wish I'd done that. I wish I'd done that. So yeah, it's about sometimes getting out of your own head and actually just doing what you want to do. Aidan made a perfect couple of points of like, ask out that person that you want to ask out, go for the job interview, apply for that position, like start that side business you've been talking about the whole time. There's so many different factors. Everyone's going to be different and have different things on top of their mind as to what they actually want to do, but their current life is holding them back. Life's too short for that. Like, make the mistakes, fail a million times, go and seek failure. Like, it is such an important thing to do, and even if you do fall short, like, you've tried it and you won't regret that in the future.
For sure, totally agree.
Yeah. Second thing we wanted to chat about was getting up early. This is something that I was thinking about this morning on the way over, and how important it has been for me. I used to be very much someone who had a lie-in, like, all the time, who would snooze their alarm a lot, and I think pushing out of it and actually like becoming a person who gets up early has like changed my life for the better. I feel like when the world is quiet in the morning, that is when I do my best thinking. That is when like I just start my day off completely like in the best way possible. And I think a lot of people think, oh, I'm not a morning person, I'm not this, I'm not that. I genuinely used to not be a morning person, and now I don't see past 10 o'clock at night.
I know, 100%. It's the identity thing as well, isn't it? Like that we spoke about quite a lot before in the podcast. Like, if you say that I'm not a morning person, then that's you kind of shutting yourself off to being a morning person. So it's about just being open, trying it out, and kind of just waking up anyway and seeing if you can integrate it into your routine, because I think it's probably one of the most valuable things I've done is waking up earlier. Like, I cannot stand a lion. Like, see if I sleep past like 7:30, I'm like, my day's gone. My day's away from me. Yeah. But nah, I just feel like I'm exact same, mate. I find that I feel the best when I wake up early, get my journaling done, get my coffee in, and I'm just set up for the day, and I'm not kind of chasing my tail. Means I can ease into the morning, and I can kind of practice solitude and take my kind of 10-15 minutes of just not speaking to anyone, not hearing anything, not going on my phone, and just being a bit chilled. And it helps me ease into the day. Yeah. To be ready to attack whatever I need to do that day. Do you know what I mean? So I totally get. I've always been like that as well. Like, my mum always says to people that I've always been somebody like when I was a wee kid, I was waking up at like 5 a.m. Going in to wake her up and things like that, and just jump about and just ready to attack the day. So it's I've always been a morning person, to be honest. I don't like a lion.
Oh, what I was thinking about most, like when I was thinking about this, was that quote: "Early bird gets the worm," and it's like that's what everyone always says. But then when you actually like look at that quote and like dive a little bit deeper into it, the person who gets up early gets the worm as such, and the worm can be anything. For you, that's like getting up, your coffee, getting a journal in, all that. That then sets you up for the day. See the people who are getting up, who are like snoozing their alarm 4 or 5 times, whatever, missing that 40, 50 minutes of their day that could set them up for an amazing day.
Yeah.
But instead, well, I definitely used to do this when I would get up like as late as possible to be able to make the place on time, whether that was work, whether that was going to meet someone, whatever. I would get up as late as possible so that I could get there on time, but it would leave me feeling rushed, overwhelmed, like feeling chasing your tail. And then when you actually reach that destination, you're not in the best position possible. So that worm is different for every single person, but it may be preparation towards the rest of the day, which is for me as well.
Yeah, when you do that, you're in such like what you said you used to do. Like you do that, you're in such an anxious, like kind of overwhelmed state.
Yeah.
When you get to that destination, whether you're like 2 minutes early or you're 2 minutes late, like you're gonna feel that, and I tend to find that because I've done that so many times, and I tend to find that it ruins my day.
Yeah.
Like I take that anxious state and I carry that throughout my day because I've done that. So it gives you the best opportunity to have a good day.
Yeah.
So waking up early is something that's crucial.
Yeah, it's constantly being in that fight or flight mode from the get-go. Like snoozing your alarm, oh shit, I need to be there for this particular time.
Yeah.
And then it just leads on to the rest of your day. You don't get out of that state.
Yeah.
We're then going to go on to a couple of different quotes. Now, we both love a quote.
Heavy
and
quotation.
Yeah, quotes are a funny thing because, like, see, when I was younger and I read quotes, I was like,
shut your bitch ass up.
I was like, shut up! Like, I don't understand that at all.
Yeah.
It's cringy. It's this. It's that. But then when you dive into certain quotes or people say something a certain way, it can literally be like taken so many different directions, and that's what we're going to chat about like just now. How you do anything is how you do everything. This is something that you want to riff on.
100%. I think that this has been a massive thing for me past couple months, is like the way you do anything is the way you do everything. Like if you don't put good effort into the little small things, then it's going to be really hard for you to put in good effort to the things that are bigger than that. And that comes down to like scrubbing the toilet or cleaning the dishes. If you just half-ass that, I know it might seem like a little thing, you're going to half-ass a lot of things in your life, and it's about approaching things with intention and like being proud to put your name on it. I think that before I used to literally just half-ass everything. I used to like not put away clothes properly. I wouldn't fold them. I would maybe see something on the ground and no pick it up. I would like litter and shit like that. And it's just like, that's just the wrong way. Like it seems really small, but that's just the wrong way to approach life, because that seeps into like the bigger things in life. Like when you are trying to maybe study for a test, or you need to make sure that you do something really correctly, you're always going to have that in the back of your mind, or I've quit, or I've not done this to my full potential before. That means that I'm someone that does that, and then that seeps into the things that are a bit, as I say, bigger. So I just think about it as like have an intention with everything that you do. And ever since I've kind of fixed that within my life, I just start to feel like I can be more productive. I can actually give my attention into the things that I want to do, and I can give my max effort with it. So yeah, it's so important, and I believe it's true. How you do anything is how you do everything.
Yeah, like a good example of this is the other day when I was in here, when I was training with Drew. Where was I going afterwards? I was going to a wedding. So I was training early in the morning. I had a wedding like in the early afternoon. So I was training. I got in with Drew. It was like an hour and a half session or whatever. But I realised when I was maybe like 15 minutes to go to the workout to finish, that like I could have been rushing about. I could have been late. But what I done was like I got up, I finished the workout, got up, got ready very quickly, and I was rushing out the door, and I realised in the gym that I'd left like a bottle in a bag, like a plastic bag, and like just down next to the roars, and I was going out the door, and I was like, oh, like someone else will get that, because I was in a rush, and I went down like 3 or 4 steps, and I was like, wait, I'm not doing that. I put my bag down, I went up. It literally took me, don't know, 8 seconds maybe. So I ran up, grabbed the bag, grabbed the bottle, put it in the bin, and then went down the stairs like on my day, whatever. But I've done it in the past where like something like that's happened, and I've known about it, and I've left it, and although it might just be a tiny thing, it sits in the back of your head.
Yeah.
And it is that whole how you do everything is how you do anything. That's such a tiny little thing, and probably no one else will have like thought about it. Someone might have came into the gym and, oh, there's a bottle there, there's a bag there, whatever, popped it in the bin. But it's that little thing that would have probably stayed with me. I would have it would have annoyed me the rest of the day probably, because it started me off that day. So it's tiny things like that. As you said, it's like picking something up off the floor. It's not leaving the door open and like in your wardrobe or whatever. Like it's the tiny little things that end up the big things.
Yeah, it's funny as well because you convince yourself that, oh, that thing, I have no good time for that. Like I can't do that. Like I need to get out the door. I need to go. But that's taking you 5 seconds to do. Like just do it, because that 5 seconds can be the difference between you having that in the back of your mind or not.
Yeah,
it's a good example.
Yeah, so if you slack off in the little things,
and most likely will slack off in the bigger things as well.
Yeah, it's so true. Another great quote: whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. And this is something you sent me the other day, but I've heard plenty of times before. And it's about belief, and it's about self-belief, and it really is like what success in whatever field you're in comes down to is a belief in yourself and doing things over and over and over again over time. Like consistency always wins, but to have consistency you need to show up, and usually to show up you need to believe in yourself. So self-belief is a topic we've covered quite a lot of times before, but Aidan was chatting about this earlier, and I think it's so important is to, if you don't have belief in yourself, it causes a lot of friction in your life. Like, oh, I don't know if I can do that, I don't know if I can do that. Your mind ends up convincing you that you don't want to do the task, and it can create so much friction in your day-to-day. Like, you end up not doing the task, and it all stems from the thought in your head, that belief in your head. But yeah,
because you're constantly asking yourself the question, oh, can I do this? Can I do that? I can't do that. Like saying those things to yourself, that's kind of, especially in the UK, that is like programmed into people's heads that they need to like stay on kind of surface level and not exceed. So it's so natural for you to feel like that, but it's about programming your brain and kind of like questioning those thoughts, because at the end of the day your thoughts aren't who you are. You can change your thoughts, they're malleable. So it's about being able to like understand that by showing up, by you doing the thing, by creating action, that is building evidence to show that you can do the thing, and then that's what changes your brain. You can't just change your brain if you don't actually do anything about it. Like, it doesn't change if you don't like create action or you do anything. You need to create belief by showing up for yourself, and then that's when your mind starts to change. Like, oh, maybe I can do that, maybe I can do this. So I think that it's so true. Like, belief is massive for whether you want to go for the job, go for like a fitness goal, things like that. If you don't truly believe in yourself, then 9 times out of 10 it's not gonna happen.
Amazing. And like one of the things I spoke about on my TikTok the other day was three words or a question that will change your life in this sense, and it's why not me. See, when you really deep it on certain things, your mind will tell you, oh, I can't do that. And then if you question it back again, why not me? Say you write down the things that come up in your mind, it'll be beliefs, and it'll literally be thoughts in your head that aren't real, stories that aren't real. And it all comes back to that narrative that we spoke about a million times before. You're telling yourself a story in your head, and that story isn't usually real. It's usually just like a previous experience that you've had, so that you have built this story around it, and it's became a belief and a narrative in your mind. And you can change that narrative. As Aidan said, like, your thoughts are malleable, so is your story. Everything in your mind is malleable, and you can change these thoughts by overcoming it and doing the thing over and over again, whatever that may be. Yeah, so believe in yourself. Why not you? Why not you? It's always something that like slaps me in the face when I think, why not me? Because then really it just brings it back to like a story that I'm telling myself, a belief system that I'm telling myself.
Yeah, because there's so many people out there as well that have done the thing, do you know what I mean? And like, what makes them different to you? Probably just them doing like the things that they said they were going to do, and believing in themselves and having that kind of thought process, like, why not me? That's the difference between them and you.
Yes. Final quote, and this links to how I've been feeling a little bit this week, and that is, it's not your life, it's a period of your life. And I think you done a reel about this.
Yeah, I done an Instagram reel about this
recently. And I had a conversation with Aidan yesterday. Just been feeling a little bit down this week and a little bit overwhelmed. My brain's been busy, and I get this at some points. Like, it happens, and I think it happens to everyone. But I've now went through it, and I'm aware enough that sometimes you are going to feel like this. Sometimes your brain is going to be super busy. But Aidan made a very good point when I was chatting to him, that it's not my life, it's a period of my life. And we have some big goals, like we're trying to achieve some big goals, and that's almost that is the price you pay as well, as having a lot of things on your mind, a lot of things that you're trying to juggle on a day-to-day basis. And maybe sometimes you are going to feel this way, like you are going to be overwhelmed, but it's understanding that this is only a period of my life and it's not my whole life, okay? But something that when we were chatting about, it came to my mind was, this too shall pass. And that's a quote, another quote, fucking full of quotes today. The quote masters. This too shall pass, and that is like it's something that is so true. If you look back on the huge problems that you thought you had at the time, a year ago, 6 months ago, a week ago, it's probably not like that top of mind right now with you again. And I think you always think in the moment, oh, this is going to last forever, but when you look back and think of the huge problems you've had, it will pass. And sometimes you just need to sit in it and not think, how can I get out of this, I get out of this feeling.
It's a great way of putting it. Like what I said to you yesterday is, like, that is the price you need to pay to like be someone who is doing all these things. Like, what a privilege it is to feel overwhelmed and to feel a little bit down, like not down, but like feel a little bit anxious about like having all these things to juggle with. Like, if you look at it from a certain point, like, it's a privilege to get the opportunity to feel like this. And the way I like to think about it, because I've had so many days and weeks and even months of feeling down about myself, about my situation, and the way I like to think about it now, when I do get down, is like, cool, this is a normal emotion that everyone in this world experiences at some point in their life. So why don't I just sit in it? Because you don't know what bad is. You don't know what bad is if you don't know what good is if you don't know what bad is at the end of the day. And if I can take the good, I need to be able to take the bad, because it all comes as one. You need to be able to take these emotions as it is and kind of feel the emotions, and sometimes just sit in it. Like, so many people are so quick to try and get out of like a feeling of being down or being sad because it doesn't feel comfortable. But in the same, like, I think that you should just experience it and sit in it and understand how it feels to be down instead of trying to get rid of it so quickly, because that's when you're just begging it and you're just trying to get away from it. But I think that's a valuable experience to feel down and to feel upset, because, as I say, if you don't know what bad feels like, you don't know what good feels like. So yeah, I think that I've maybe been feeling a little bit like that this week as well. Maybe not down, but a wee bit overwhelmed, and maybe not ticking as much as I was like last week or a couple of weeks ago. And that's gonna happen. Like, especially when you're doing all this work that we're doing with the podcast, with the content, with work, coaching, things like that. It's tough. It's tough to deal with. So it's just about being able to sit in it and still doing the work anyway. Because if you can still do the work when you're feeling like that, then you can most definitely do the work any other time.
Yeah.
So it's important to remember that it's a valuable emotion to feel, and don't try and get rid of it pure soon. I don't think.
Yeah, a great frame that I heard on a podcast once, and I always remember it. It's a guy called Dan Coe. He has a YouTube channel, and he speaks a lot about like kind of personal development and stuff. But he spoke about how like you get growing pains when you're growing up. Say like a lot of people get growing pains in their shins, their knees, whatever. Like when they're physically growing. So it's the exact same with your brain or with like personal development. If you're trying to better yourself and you're trying to get better as a person, you're growing as a person, and you get these growing pains, you're supposed to feel uncomfortable. It's not supposed to be a comfortable experience when you're growing. Like, you're going to have times where you doubt yourself, where like you get overwhelmed when there's a lot on your mind. But framing it in that sense, that it's like mental growing pains, was a huge thing for me.
That's something that I wrote in my journal this morning, actually, because I didn't feel as good as I normally do waking up this morning, just because I was a wee bit tired and stuff like that. And I just wrote down, like, if like it comes a breakthrough, like we speak about that quite a lot as well, like the breakthrough of becoming someone new. At the other side of that is a new level to yourself. So it's just about kind of riding that in between part of maybe feeling like shit but still doing the thing, and then do that enough, and then you get past that, and then you become a new version of yourself in the most productive way possible.
I love that. Explained very, very well, and that's something that like still off the back of that helped me understand. I read a book called Clarity by Jamie Smart, and in times like this I always think back to it. It had a huge kind of impact on me reading that book. I read it when I was in Bali, and I had a lot of space to think in that moment in time. I was off for 2 weeks, and I probably will go back to read it again. But it speaks about emotions and them being like clouds. So you've got a clear sky, and then the emotions are the clouds in front of that sky, and naturally they are going to pass. Like, they're going to go away, and there's going to be that bright sky again. Maybe not in Glasgow, but and everywhere else in the world. But yeah, like we always think, oh, it's going to be cloudy this whole time. This emotion isn't going to go away, but naturally the sky is going to be bright again. There's going to be the blue skies again in time. It's just about sometimes sitting in that emotion, whatever that may be, feeling down, being overwhelmed, feeling anxious. If you constantly think, oh, how can I get out of this? Why am I feeling this way? Whatever, that you're almost going to keep that cloud front of mind, so it's always going to be there. But naturally, if you almost sit in it, understand that you are actually okay. Like, you've just got you're just feeling an emotion, then it will pass over time.
Yeah, a bad day or a bad week doesn't mean a bad life. And it's something that I'm constantly reminding myself when I do have these days/weeks. Like, you need to. What I do is focus on like the things that are going well in my life. Like, I'm progressing when it comes to my job. I'm doing the things that I've always dreamed of doing. I'm progressing when it comes to my fitness. So in the times that you're feeling like you're struggling a little bit, remember all the good things that you've got in your life, because I definitely believe there's always some things that you can take to make those things feel a little bit better.
Love it. We'll do a quick High Rocks update. Quick
Yes.
update on training.
Let's do it.
We are currently in we're going into this is week 5?
This is week 5 on Monday.
Yeah, so this is week 5 of our 16-week block just now before Oslo, and it's exciting. It's very exciting because we've done 4 weeks of a base building and strength block there. Kind of the main aim for us for Oslo was increasing our strength, getting faster is the two main things, but strength is something that we've done from the get-go. We've been upping our weights on the sleds, farmers carries, lunges, what else? That's it? The wall balls. Wall balls as well. So something that we're actually feeling pretty good about. Well, I certainly am anyways. In terms of strength wise. The sleds are feeling pretty good. The 9 kilo wall ball as well is the first time I touched it, I was like, oh my god, I don't know if I'll be able to fucking do this, but it's fine. Like for now, obviously it's going to be way more of a challenge when we're doing it under fatigue, etc. But for now, it was a main like kind of base building. Now we're going to be going into what's our block now?
It's just kind of introducing compromise running to these things. Still staying on top of strength. Still staying on top of strength and running fitness. And just kind of building that aerobic base still, but now starting to involve, instead of just strength sessions, we're involving a little bit of a conditioning element to the lateral end of the session.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to that. It's basically just going to be introducing the heavy sleds and a piece like an erg, and just focusing on holding the paces on like the ergs and stuff like that. Something that we came away from Cardiff really wanting to improve. I think that it could have definitely been so much better in all of the sense of Cardiff. I think we looked at it like it was such a good race, so fun. We ran our best that we probably ran, but still definitely a lot of things that we need to touch up on, and one of those ones for me especially was the ergs. So staying on top of pacing with them, and yeah, just getting used to that compromised feeling again.
Yes, and we're going to be. We've already got our tickets sorted, but we need to book our Oslo.
We can do that.
We're going to do that today. Book flights, book accommodation for that. I'm so buzzing for it now.
Bro,
I have been since we booked it.
It's near approaching as well. Like,
I know.
It's so mad to think that we've just done like 4 weeks. I feel like that's been like fucking a week and a half that we've just started. It's exciting though. Like every single time I see that refreshed programme, I'm like, come on man, let's go. And it's like it gives you that little bit extra bit of motivation.
Yeah.
When you're starting to come to the end of the block, you've done these things before. I feel like I'm always motivated to do these sessions. I don't think there's been a session that I've not really wanted to do.
Yeah.
But when you get to the end of the block, it maybe gets a little bit samey because you've done these things and you know what you need to do. So when you get to the end of that 4 weeks and you know there's a new programme coming up, it just like ups that level of motivation and just makes you want to get stuck in a little bit extra. So I'm really looking forward to getting the next block going and seeing where we can go from there.
Yes.
And then we've got the next block, we've got a full High Rocks sim. So that's going to be insane. You want to talk about
The RFA athlete programme?
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Is that what you were going to chat about?
I was going to chat about the hybrid games as well.
But we can tie that in. But
let's tie in.
So that's what I was going to say there, that we have been scouted out to, well, our current coaches, Christian, Elliot and Carly, have chosen myself, Aidan and Roslyn, another member of the RFA, to become the first RFA athletes in the programme. They're going to be introducing another tier, which is super exciting, and off the back of it they're going to be kind of sponsoring us for a couple of different things, and one of the most exciting parts of it is we're both going to be getting some physical testing, so some lactate threshold testing and VO2 max testing.
Yes.
So that is going to be over the next couple of weeks. myself and Aidan are going to be heading into one of the unis like around Glasgow to get them tested. Christian, Ailey and Carly, they're going to be kind of documenting around it as well. Pretty much we are the guinea pigs for RFA as to how they're going to run this, but like we're going to be getting that stuff for free, and it's class to be
so exciting. It
just
gives us an opportunity to touch up on like the data and see where we're at with these things and getting a little bit more precise and kind of taking us to that next level. Because that's something that I know me and you want to focus on, is just becoming the best athletes we possibly can and taking it to a serious level where we're hanging with the top people in the sport. It's going to take time, of course, 100%, but with the intention that we apply to our training, I don't even think it's a matter of if, I think it's a matter of when. So yeah, really excited for that. Looking forward to for the coaches to sponsor us. And yeah, I'm looking forward to Oslo. Oslo's going to be a good one.
It's the next step of the journey.
It is the next step of the journey. So races coming up. We were speaking about this before. We are actually thinking about getting out just before Oslo. We're gonna try and get tickets for the hybrid games in Newcastle. It's a new kind of event, similar to High Rocks, but I think that it'll be a good test for us. Good test to get out, feel like that kind of race day feeling, similar to High Rocks, as I say. So it will be like a kind of good transfer. So yeah, I'm really excited for that. Something that's new, something that me and you have never experienced before, and we know a couple of people that have maybe done it before, see it on Instagram, stuff like that. It looks like a great event.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm buzzing for that.
If you know anyone that's got Newcastle tickets for the Sunday, let us know.
Yeah, please let us know.
Please let us know.
Yeah, we'll be trying to scout them out and try and find tickets, but I'm sure we can get them.
Yeah, and then I've also got the Alexandra Park 10K coming up next Sunday.
PB incoming.
We'll see, man. I've spoke to a person that's done the course before, and they said it was extremely hilly. And what they said to me was, if you PB on this course, then you're definitely doing something right. So, and I think I'm doing something right. So we'll see. We'll see.
Whether you think you can or can't,
you're right, and I can. I can.
Let's wrap that up there.
Sick.
Thank you to everyone who listens to, who shares, and who rates us on Spotify and Apple. We were chatting about that. If you are a listener and you have a spare 2 minutes to rate us on whatever platform you're listening to, please do so.
Please.
It really, really helps, and yeah, we appreciate you all massively.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate every single person that listens to this. And yeah.
See you all soon.
See you all soon. Think.